with a bit of information.
Ah,
It's Claudia.
Juliana,
How's it going? I'm on time now, right?
Hello.
how are you doing?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm good,
Oh,
good.
good.
Good to
Thank
see
you.
you.
We are in lockdown officially now in Perth, right? So
That's
Oh,
right.
as good as
yeah.
possible.
Can you hear us properly?
Yeah. Can you hear me, see me?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
very
The
good.
volume is okay, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, God.
So big day, right? Because the list has just been
Oh my
released.
God, finally South Australia
Finally.
has been released. I believe everyone's so happy about it.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Don't bother if the video stops sometimes because people are calling me. So sometimes
Ah,
it will
okay,
block,
that's okay, that's
but
okay.
I'll come back. Don't worry.
Keep going.
All right, no worries. So, Claudio, thank you for joining us. Claudio is from Seven Migration. He's going to help us a little bit with this information and this pathway from automotive courses to if the people want to migrate. So, you can help us with that. And Mitch, if you have any question or if you want to help us with this,
Yes, of course.
you can do
I'll
it
ask the
as well.
questions that my clients and students ask all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Why should I
Yeah.
go for 2 years and not 2.5 years? Or
Good
vice versa?
question. Good question. And that
What are the
was the first
benefits
thing I
there?
was going to say. Yeah. Um, Look, for automotive industry, you have the certificate 3 for the diploma, right? So
Yes.
what's the qualification you need to migrate? Only the certificate 3. Only the certificate 3 should be enough for you to migrate. But the certificate 3 doesn't have 2 years. And you need to study 2 years of courses related so you can qualify for the graduate visa. Without the graduate visa, you cannot migrate. And to get a graduate visa, you need 2 years of study. So the certificate 3 itself alone is not enough. Certificate 3 and certificate 4, you'll be 2 years, right? 2 years, certificate 3 and 4?
Certificate 3, yes, 2 years.
2 years, okay. That would be enough, right? So that would be enough, and then you could go for the graduate visa. Most people are waiting like very anxiously to go for the graduate visa, right? So, oh yeah, I want to go out of the student visa as soon as I can, and they want to just study the bare minimum so they can go for the market. But why not take the diploma? After the certificate 3, everything that you have been working in the field is already counting towards your experience, right?
Yeah.
So if you finish the certificate 3 and you are already working in the field and you study the certificate 4 and then you study the diploma and you still have after diploma another 1.5 years of graduate visa, you will have 2.5 years of work experience. So let's say at the end of your graduate visa, state has closed for your occupation. It can happen, right? So now it's open, but until last week it was closed. So if that happens, at least you have enough experience to go, for example, for a sponsor visa. And for the sponsor visa, you need at least 2 years work experience. So it is important and for people to consider taking the whole package, the certificate 3, certificate 4, take another 6-month break before going for the graduate visa. It will just delay 6 months of your plan. But if you don't have 44 years old, that's enough. That's fine. Don't worry about it. It's best for you to gain more experience because then you have options. Because after the graduate visa, if you need more experience, it's going to be harder for you to go back for the student visa. So do everything you can under the student visa and then take the graduate visa, more experience, more qualified, and it will be even easier for you to find a job.
Absolutely.
All
yes.
right, cool. So basically, in Netherlands, especially, people can apply for the postgraduate visa for 2 years, but also they can go for 1 additional year in case they need it. So this is really good, right, for them?
Not really, actually.
No?
For the additional year of graduate visa is just for people who study
No.
higher
She's
education.
saying, sorry to interrupt. She said if they go all the way to diploma, they'll have another visa possibility to apply.
Yeah, they can always
Not just
apply for the graduate
we
visa.
know for
Okay,
5
I
years
got it
also
now. Yeah,
higher education.
the graduate
3 years.
visa. Yeah, the graduate visa will be
18 months.
18 months, regardless. regardless if it's after the certificate 4 and after the diploma, right? Because motor mechanic is in the medium long-term list, and every occupation that you study, that the qualification leads you to an occupation that is in the medium long-term list, might make you eligible for the graduate visa if you comply with other requirements, including IELTS or PT or any other language certificate. That will be 18 months, and you will have that after you complete at least 2 years study towards occupation such as motor mechanic that is in the medium long-term list. The only concern is if you just do the bare minimum, the 2 year certificate 3 and 4, you will have to go for the graduate visa, and you will have 18 months to get the experience you need and comply with the job ready program, which students will be doing during the graduate visa, and they will have probably around 6 months or so to apply for the visa. And this process sometimes take a little bit longer. I've seen many people who had like the graduate visa close to expire when they were concluding the program, and maybe sometimes you take a little longer to find a job in your field, and sometimes it's harder to comply with other requirements. So the diploma will give you a little bit more peace of mind. You go for the market more experienced, more qualified, and the same graduate visa will apply for you either after the certificate 4 or after the diploma.
All right, cool. Thank you, Claudio. How good should be the English in case people...
That is the question. Well, the state doesn't mind much about English for this occupation. They say that competent English is enough. So you just need 6 on IELTS on each band, or 50 on PT. But depending on your points score, we might need a higher English score, right? So if you are over 40, for example, or if you have a partner that don't speak English or doesn't have a qualification, so then we would be losing too much points. So a good way to recover for the point score would be with the English test. So if you just go from 6 to 7, you already get 10 points. If you go from 7 to 8, you get another 10 points. So you can get 20 points just to improve 2 points on your score. It's not easy, obviously, but it is a way we have if you're losing points some other way. But usually 6 on IELTS for most applicants will be enough for occupations such as motor mechanic and all trades. Usually 6 on IELTS is enough.
All right, cool. Thank you. So if someone joined already in the live and have this question, how do I know if I met all the requirements for this pathway to migrate?
Well, there are many requirements, right? We have to first check the skills assessment requirements. And the skills assessment requirements say that you must comply with at least the certificate 3. They only will see the certificate 3. The certificate 4 and the diploma will help you to get the graduate visa and to gain more experience. But for the skills assessment itself, it's only the certificate 3 plus 360 hours of work placement to go for the step 1 of the program. Skills Institute Australia have more than enough work placement.
Australia Institute.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said. You didn't listen, correct?
Talking about our competitor.
Yeah. It's not going to be online after that, right? Is it?
Yeah.
We
cut
that part, yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
So if they go
But
for the
Mitch's
certificate
school... Yeah, the certificate 3 plus 360 hours work placement that is included in the course will be the enough requirement to go for the program. And then during the graduate visa, you're going to do the other steps. 1,725 hours work placement during the graduate visa, practical assessment at step 3, some documentation on step 4, and you are good with the skills assessment. Next step, we have to check your point score. So we need to check individually how many points you have for your age, qualification, work experience, study, partner, in English. So we'll go gather all points and see if you qualify for the skill visa. Next step, we have to check South Australia website. If you are in South Australia or Western Australia website, if you are in Western Australia, to see what the state is requiring from you to issue an invitation. At the moment, Western Australia doesn't include motor mechanic in their skill list, but South Australia has just released a list. Motor mechanic is included.
Is it there?
It is there, yes. It is there, and it is available for people who have been working for 12 months in Adelaide. So you will be working for 12 months because you have to comply with the skills assessment, right? So as soon as you finish your program, your job ready program, which will include 12 months work experience, then you can apply for the state nomination if you have enough points. So basically, all you need to do is complete the course, take the work placement, go for the graduate visa, work 1 year, check the points, and apply.
So Claudio, for our students or clients, future clients in Perth, what is the pathway for them if it's not on the list, the 491 list anymore?
If it's not on the skill list of the state, usually we try to find a pathway through a company sponsorship, an employer sponsor visa. That's why it's so important to maximize your experience before your graduate visa expires. So if you do the certificate 3, 4, and diploma, just within the student visa, you already have 1 year work experience. Then you go for 18 months work experience plus bridging visa plus holidays from school. You will possibly have 3 years work experience after the graduate visa ends. So it can qualify students even like for 186 as a permanent visa through the company. So there are pathways. So the first thing we do, we check the state. But if the state doesn't open for them at that particular stage, after they completed all the course and all the requirements, we have to resort to employer sponsor or other options. But most of these options will require more experience. So if you can, please do the diploma as well.
All right, cool. Okay.
Thank you.
So Claudio, I have this question a lot of time from the students. So in this case for automotive course, if we have a student now on the live or someone who is going to watch later and they want to go and run to this South Australia list that has been released already, how they can search the name of this course? Because we call this course automotive package, but on the list it's called the same or it's mechanic. How they can find to see which pathway they have, which visas they can apply?
Yeah, on South Australia's migration website, it only lists the name of the occupation and not the qualification, right? So the name of the occupation is motor mechanic general. So it's motor mechanic general under brackets. That's the occupation you will be applying to. So after you study the certificate 3, certificate 4, diploma, you go for the graduate visa, you will complete the skills assessment for motor mechanic general, code 321211. So 321211, that's the ENSCO code for motor mechanic. If they check there, it is on the list and it's saying that it's available for applicants who have been working for 12 months in Adelaide or 6 months in outside of Adelaide. But then obviously you still need 12 months just because you are still doing the graduate visa, right? So you will need 12 months. And even, well, at least if you're doing outside of Adelaide, the 12 months experience, you may even qualify for the permanent, the 190. Right, so because if you just work in Adelaide, you just qualify for the 491, which is regional. It offers students a pathway to permanent residency, and it's kind of a safe pathway. But obviously, if they can, the new list is very much for people get out of Adelaide. So state wants to grow, not only in Adelaide, they want to grow the whole state. So they are trying to make people finish their course in Adelaide because it's the only place they will have to study. But after that, get their skills and take somewhere else in the state.
All right. I have a question about the course. This is another question I get a lot. Is how much? How long need to be the duration of this course? So you said with a certificate 3 is fine. It say that need to be like a 1 year duration, 6 month duration. Is there something or no?
Well, the certificate 3 would be enough if you had any other option, but you don't have any other option. You need to take at least the certificate 4, just because you have to complete at least 2 years. If you don't complete 2 years, you don't qualify for the graduate visa. And if you don't qualify for the graduate visa, you cannot do the work experience you need, and there's no pathway for you. So you will need to take at least the certificate 3 and 4. Diploma is optional, but it's recommended.
All right, cool. Thank you. You have a question?
Yeah,
no? No? Okay, cool. So one of the final questions I got it. I think it's not question from people. Guys, if you have any questions, we are almost going to finish the live. So if you have any question we are reading now, just type it now, and then we are going to help you. So one of the last questions, Claudio, is the most important one. People say, how much do I need for this process? So just a general idea.
All right, so to calculate costs, they will first have to talk to Information Planet to check school fees, so they can study the course. What I can talk about is after they finish the course. After they finish the course, they will need to go for the graduate visa. Graduate visa, depending on the circumstances, people will spend probably around 2,700 or 3,000 to 5,000, depending if you are including family or not. So minimum 3,000 to go for the graduate visa, but then you have to do all the steps of the job ready program. One of the steps is $2,000, the practical assessment, step 3. That's probably the most expensive one. So let's calculate $3,000 as well for the whole job ready program. So 3,000 for the graduate visa, 3,000 for the job ready program, and then we're going to apply for your visa, which will lead you to a permanent visa, right? So that visa itself, only the application fee is $4,000. If you are applying through a migration agent, the migration agent will have their fees to help you get that invitation and apply for the visa, complying with all the requirements. It will depend. Some migration agents will charge you $2,500, some will charge you $4,000. So let's say that you will spend about, if you're including probably a partner.
Someone is calling.
Yeah, South Australia is calling. $6,000 for the visa application plus migration fees and migration agents fees. People will spend probably something around $15,000. But that's going to be divided in many installments because you have 1.5 years to pay for all these fees. So it is achievable.
It's not everything at once. That's what you mean.
Exactly.
Yes, that's good.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Thank you, Claudio. So
yeah.
I think people is asking you a few questions in here. So if we can have a look. The first one say, is the course in the list asking for just 3 months, like new list require now?
Well, 3 months is for some occupations. Motor mechanic specifically is requiring at least 6 months, but you have to do the graduate visa, right? So you have to do the job ready program, which will include 12 months work experience. There is something in the website saying 3 months only for a few occupations, but that's the case for people who come ready from your home country. So let's say you were a motor mechanic, automotive mechanic in your home country, you have the qualification, you have the experience, you come ready, so you're ready to apply. So maybe you don't have to take the whole 12 months work experience for some occupations. Sometimes 3 months, 6 months might be enough for you, depending. We have to check the list, the specific information, the qualification, and we can apply maybe with less experience. But if you're not a motor mechanic, if you're not an automotive mechanic, if you're going to start the course now, you have to comply with the requirements of the skills assessment, which will include 12 months work experience plus qualification. There's no way to escape it.
All right, cool, thank you. So there is another question. I did 1 year of diploma. Am I able to apply for another visa after that course? So maybe she can talk to us to Information Planet later, no?
Yeah, we would have to check her eligibility for any other visa. It will depend on the course she studied, but it's not, I would say it's not the automotive mechanic, because she wouldn't skip certificate 3 and 4 to go for the diploma, right?
All right. Someone else is asking, 3 months of experience is enough?
Yeah, like I said, if you come ready, if you come to Brazil from like Brazil or your country, ready to apply, if you had the qualification and experience, and you don't need to study anything else here, sometimes 3 months might be enough if you qualify, depending on the pathway you choose. But this is just for people who have all the qualifications and experience they need.
All right, cool. And Claudio, you have a bit of more time. We had 2 more questions. Someone is asking, do I have any chance for 190 if I have 85 points and 3 months of job experience after graduating in South Australia?
You will have to check your occupation on the list, because they are making specific requirements for each occupation. So it usually doesn't matter the points scored. You have to comply with what your occupation is saying. So, for example, motor mechanic, they say if you want the 190, you have to go to Outern Regional South Australia and work for at least 12 months there. Otherwise, you will be invited on the 491. So each occupation now has its own requirements. There's a general requirement, but the occupation has its own requirements, and that's more important than the general ones.
Great, thank you, Claudio. People is asking another question. For civil engineer, draft person, graduated in South Australia and already working in the field for 2 months full time, how big is the chance to get the 190 visa instead of 491?
You have to go for the website now. The list is available to the website now. You have to type civil engineering draft person or technician, whatever you have, and check what the requirements are. So they might make different requirements depending on each occupation. So we would have to go on each of these occupations people are talking about, check their website. Now it's not only one general requirement for all occupations. Each occupation, its own requirements. So it's impossible to generalize and say, yeah, you are eligible regardless of the occupation or not. We have to check your occupation on the list and check what are the requirements for that occupation. I think they froze over there. Oh, you're back.
Sorry. Yeah, no, I put all the notification off. I don't know what's happened. Yeah. So did you finish what did you say, Claudio? Sorry about that.
Yeah. I think people heard what I said. Yeah.
They got it. Cool. Yeah, no, we have a couple of more questions, but they are related to another areas, electric engineer, community worker. So this live was made to answer questions about automotive. We are going to do more live, guys, related to different areas, but also you can check our previous live because we have answered already these kind of questions. So Claudio, we wanted to say thank you for today. Thank you for answering the question from people who are super excited about this new in Adelaide and in Perth as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us. And yeah, I wanted to say thank you, Mitch, as well.
Thanks again. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the invite.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for having us.
And everything. All the support as always.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Danny.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, bye. don't know what's happening with the connection.
I thought you were going to talk about the next live.
Pardon?
They're having a live now.
Yeah.
About it.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to.
And now, because I don't